Try to get my energy up because it has been a day. Hope everybody's doing well. Y'all haven't noticed, I got myself a dedicated space so that I can get more serious with my postings. And I figure if I have a dedicated space, I'll be more serious about it. So like the little headboard thing, I made that out of an old sheet and some like fluffing, the little lights and stuff. Let's see what else I want to show y'all. These little lanterns. Let me see if I can get it off of here. Eh. These little planterns I made. So I wanted to buy a one that looks similar to this, but instead of doing that, I decided to just kind of repurpose some stuff I already had laying around. So what I did was I took a old frame that I had that actually had like some type of phrasing on it, and then I just painted over it this like wood teak color. I blended the colors myself, which I guess is in my blood because my father is an artist. So I guess I picked up a thing or two from him. But yeah, so I bought the little succulents off of Amazon, and they were really cute, by the way. Like they look so lifelike. Like look at that. They're so cute. But anyway, back to it. I took the little planter, or I took the frame, and I painted it. I Mod Podged it, and then I added like I added the succulents, hot glued them and like stapled them down. And on the back, I used some like extra foam I had laying around, which was from an old yoga uh, block that I had laying around. I wasn't using anymore. It was pretty beat up. So I figured that'd be a good way to repurpose it and put it in the back. So as you see, it holds the plants, in. And then let's see. Let me see here. I made the twine like hangers that kind of look like it's like rustic a little bit. And that's basically how I put this together. And I just have one on both sides. I have one here, and then I have one over here, which you probably can't see in the shot right now. But yeah, I wanted to get serious about my space, and instead of me, playing hide and go seek all over my house trying to find a dedicated space, more so for like signal and all that jazz. But I took the time to, find a good little space so I can, be able to be more consistent with my postings and not having to worry about that so much. See, there's the other one that I made too. Welcome in if you're just joining in. I was just going over how I made the board here out of an old sheet, some fluff, some cotton fluff that I had laying around, just scrap stuff I had around the house. Hello. I really just wanted to, like I said, have a dedicated space so I can get more serious about my videos and stuff like that. Yeah. So welcome in. I know it's been a minute. Been sorting through some stuff. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've been in hella lazy mode. Like I don't know if it's just me. I don't know if it's energy. I don't know if it's just this year. Like it's been extra hella hard lately for me to just like feel motivated to do much of anything, if I'm being completely transparent and honest. And most of my days have just been like, get up, do what I need to do, and then lay around. I don't know what to call it, but I'm just learning to give myself grace through this process because all the while still feeling all those things, got other personal things going on, as well as, Of course the worldly stuff, but it seems like that stuff don't ever stop. So I feel like that's kind of something that'll have anybody spinning their wheels out on that one. But for me, I've been for the most part just trying to keep chill, which I hope y'all can see me all right because it's my first time being on here with the new setup. Y'all let me know, give me a thumbs up. If you're in here, give me a like, show me some love. Hey, appreciate the hearts. Thank you. Um, appreciate it. But for the most part, my mind has still been here. There's so much like I feel like I want to say and I want to do. And it's like, I feel like I'm being pulled in so many different directions all the darn time with my mental state and just, should I, shouldn't I, because living the lifestyle that I live, it's been getting increasingly just more challenging to even want to bother to say anything anymore, just because it feels like nothing's going to change anyway, or, I don't know, stuff just starts to feel meaningless. At least that's how I have been feeling. And I'm just being real with myself. I'm not going to get on here and fake it and be like, oh, yeah, everything's great. Like, no, everything hasn't been great, but everything hasn't been horrible either. It's just, I don't know, just getting tired of the same old, and wanting something new. And, at least from my experiences, I feel like the more I try to work at something new, the more obstacles show up in my way. It's I don't know. It's a weird phenomenon I've been battling with most of my life, but I still am a ultimately determined person. Like if I need or want to get something done, I'm gonna get it done. No matter how long it takes me. That's just who I am, and that's how you build resiliency. It's just first you don't succeed, try and try again. And sometimes that's the wave I got to be on, is just keep trying and trying again, hoping that things will be different the next time around. But um, jumping into the meat and potatoes of the video, I wanted to go ahead and discuss the recent post that I made on my channel regarding my Patreon. So I know I hadn't really had much posted there, but I do have some content there. And there is some content there for members, but the content that I'm referring to are the two medical disparity videos. I know that I said I wanted to do ages ago, and I did do them. I did film them and I did get them up. I just didn't put them on YouTube because they are like an hour and a half long a piece. And then also some of the contents on which I'm discussing, I guess, could be seen as a little more sensitive for YouTube. So I felt like it was better suited over there on that platform. Also, I could be a little more candid in the way that I, expressing myself and being true to myself and how I wanted to relay the videos for that. So yeah, it's medical disparities 1 and 2. There's two separate videos, at least so far. I haven't decided if I wanted to proceed with more in that series, because I definitely have a lot more like uncanny things that I've dealt with and gone through concerning the medical field, or at least the medical field, and like a lot of the ill treatment I've received personally, dealing with the American medical system. But for me, it was more so important to post those two in particular regarding my MCTD diagnosis as well as my breast cancer diagnosis. Because looking back now, I do indeed believe that they are some way, somehow connected to my gang stalking. And I do discuss a little more in depth in the videos how and or why I think they are related to the gang stalking that I've been receiving. I've come to a lot of realizations about a lot of things when it comes to my journey with this, whatever, gang stalking, whatever you want to call it. and I've been able to unpack a lot of different things that I've gone through and incurred in my life, that now it kind of makes sense to me, like, okay, like some of this stuff was not random, or excuse me, a lot of this stuff was not random. I do feel as though just further investigation in my own past and life, and just, from then to current, I've been able to realize that, yeah, I do believe I'm one of those ones that I feel that this has been happening to me lifelong. I feel like I've just only become aware, just, due to the, I guess, mass awakening that a lot of people like myself have claimed to have since like 2020. Like all this time when I've been telling you guys, like, oh, it was 2018, 2018. Don't know why, for the life of me, I kept saying 2018, but it was actually 2020 when all of this stuff really kicked off and got started for me, or at least that I started to realize. So the medical disparities videos are actually, so the breast cancer, I would say, happened when the first bout of it was probably going on. And I wasn't aware. I didn't realize it because, duh, I was going through cancer. So I didn't really have time to worry about anybody or anything else other than to get myself well and, keep myself as good as I could for my family primarily. Because I was a young mother at the time. Or I had a young one, or two young ones at the time. They're, single digits at that time. So I wasn't really worried about, if somebody had something out for me, which I realize now, yeah, there definitely were individuals. And I'll probably be getting into that in separate videos if anybody's interested in hearing those stories. But the medical disparities videos will kind of paint a bigger, broader picture, also giving you a bird's eye view into what people in my position go through when going to medical facilities. Because make no mistake that the gang stalking doesn't just stop at grocery stores or random trips, hotels. This stuff goes deep. It can impact every facet of someone's life, from the doctors that they see, to the teachers that their children have, to local law enforcement, to, principals, to, it goes deep, 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 to, politicians, to YouTubers. I've recently found out a lot of YouTubers on here have basically, I don't know if they're doing it knowingly so, or being paid, but some YouTubers on here have essentially sold themselves out to be, uh let me see, how can I put this delicately, have sold themselves out to be a vessel to be used to misguide and misinform, and to also harass and stalk other TIs that are genuinely on this platform, seeking help, seeking counsel, seeking other individuals like them. And I've only become aware of this through not only my own research and due diligence, as well as subliminals that I've gotten from certain YouTubers I used to watch, and them mentioning certain things that I, was specifically about me or about my life. And I'm like, how would this person know me? Like, I don't know these people in real life. Like I might watch a video or two of theirs and get off, but they're literally, quoting verbatim things that I've said in my house in private, or, the regular gang stalker tactics, y'all know. So for me, it's been coming to the realization, like, man, like all of this stuff is just pointless at this point. At least that's the way it feels. Like, it feels like everybody has been bought. Everybody is in on it. And it's like, we're the only ones that are like kind of late to the party situation. And at first I was a little disheveled by it, but now I'm like, no, that makes sense. Like, this is the devil's playground. It makes perfect sense that his children are the ones that are prospering, while people like myself, who are getting on here literally telling their genuine life story in all authenticity, as best to our capability, of course, through YouTube platform, about what's going on with us. And these people are literally making a buck off us, laughing at us essentially. And then of course playing that whole dummy role, like, oh, that's happening to you, like, it's really like it's really diabolical and despicable at the same time. But the craziest part about it is that these are the same people that stay on our platforms watching us day and night. Like they don't know the program that they're running against us, to discredit some of us, to silence most of us, to drive some of us to ultimately harm ourselves. There was actually a recent young lady I learned about. I'm trying to recall her name. I believe it was Tyra, or was it Tyra? I can't recall her last name, but apparently she was like a former Miss Universe pageant winner. I believe in Jamaica. I might be wrong. Fix me if I'm, or quote me correctly, or if somebody figure that out and put the right person's name, which I was trying to look up her information again before I got on here so I could again, you know, pay respects to her family. But unfortunately, that young lady was being gang stalked and she recently harmed herself and she's no longer with us. And that really bothered me, just because I'm like, man, here's another possible good person who, unfortunately had the misfortune of being born into the wrong type of family, who is now no longer here because of these fuckers' shenanigans. Yeah, it's this stuff is real. It's not a game. It's not a joke. So for someone like me to get on here and to post about, the things that's happened to me, I know some people might look at it as like, oh, it's oversharing, you're giving too much information. It's not, because these people already have tried to find out any and everything about me, about you, or whatever that they can. So, all I would be doing is filling the details. But again, as I've stated before, for me, it doesn't matter because this is stuff that's already happened. This is stuff that I've already overcome. So it's like you can't hurt me with the information I'm giving to the world, because it's not for them. It's for people like Ms.Tyra, who unfortunately won't ever be able to hear my story, that may have been able to uplift her and encourage her to say, hey, baby, it ain't you. It's these people. It ain't you. It's this place. And maybe, chose to stick around and stay here a little while longer, even though I know that kind of sounds a little effed up when you think about it, because like, who wants to stick around to be psychologically tortured and harassed? Like, I get it, and that's not what I mean when I say that. I just mean that, everyone has a life that they are free to live, and they should be able to live that life however they choose, not because we have people in the world who have a problem with um being able to control themselves, so essentially they try to control others. And that's what it is. What people don't understand, what people can't control, people they can't control, they try to slander, they try to disrupt, they try to discredit. So for me, I look at me posting videos like what I've just mentioned to you all, as a way of, taking my power back, taking back the narrative, and letting the people know the real picture about, a lot of the reasons why I believe I've become targeted. In the beginning, I thought it was very, basic, nuance. Oh, neighborhood stalking, whatever. Oh, a couple of people in the neighborhood don't like me, whatever, cool, whatever. But it's bigger than that. And it's always been bigger than that. These people literally eat, sleep, live, breathe everything I do, everything I say, everything I wear. I'm sorry, I don't know about you, but if I don't like someone, or if someone's so despicable, why continue to watch them? Why continue to give them any shine? Why not shun them instead? But that's not what they do. They try to be anywhere I am, because I have a light. And if you're in my predicament, you have a light too. And like moths to a flame, whether they like it or love it or hate it or whatever, they're still drawn to it. They sometimes don't even know why, but they are. And the whole thing is to get you to feel like you're not the ish, you're not important, you're not what you say you are, but you are indeed those things. Otherwise, they wouldn't waste their time on you if you weren't. I wish I could remember. I had a conversation with Chat GPT, and I know there's some people who don't like Chat GPT, and I'm not one of those people because for me, I'm gonna use it as a resource like I do anything else. But anyway, debate for another time. But I was having a conversation with Chat GPT about something similar regarding like why would people, watch and stalk and harass someone they claim that they don't like or got beef with or whatever. And it gave the most profound like quote. I wrote it down somewhere. I can't, don't ask me to recall it right now, but it was something along the lines of, oh, you know, lesser beings don't waste time on something that isn't great or whatever. Again, I'm paraphrasing, but I was like, man, that was very profound. And I was like, you know what, you're right. Like, I clearly am a big deal, just like everyone in my predicament is clearly a big deal because otherwise they wouldn't waste this much time on us. In the grand scheme of things, wouldn't we just be little guppies in this whole ecosystem, this whole, ocean that we all swim in? Like we're just regular folks, but clearly we must not be if all of this energy has to continually be directed at us to silence us and disrupt us and to try to attempt to, stomp out any joy that we have or, break up our relationships. And truthfully, they're doing us a service that they don't even realize because I don't know about y'all, but any relationships that I've lost due to this, which crazy enough, like I had already burnt bridges with a lot of folks before this got started. So I'm pretty sure some of the very people that I'm referencing are some of those people. But the joke is, or as Kiki Palmer say, the gag is I had already done that myself, but they're still doing me a service because anybody who was foolish enough to believe or go along with any narrative that these people have spread about me or said about me and was able to just cut me off and let me go there, baby, you did me a favor. You did me a favor because see, a real friend, a real family member would have sat down and tried to have a conversation with me, would have asked me some questions. But if you just went on ahead and believed the narrative, no questions asked, hey, you're I don't miss you. Just know that I don't miss you. Not at all. Because you were never meant to be in my life as a permanent placeholder. You were always temporary. Know that I will never miss anyone who wants to genuinely believe any and every negative thing they hear about me because, as people would say, Google is free. But in this case, I was just a phone call away. You could have asked me straight up and I would have told you. Anybody who knew me like that on that level knows me that I'm always keep it a buck with you. Always. Even about my own stuff. I don't have a persona to protect. Like this is me, imperfect, 100% of the time. So I'm not like most people. I don't get afraid with people trying to threaten my image or trying to throw dirt on my name. That does nothing to me at all. Period. Unfortunately, that young lady, clearly whatever was being spread about her must have hurt her enough to the core where she felt like she needed to take her own life. And that's unfortunate. And I do feel like that is something serious that needs to be talked about more in the community. We really do need to do a better job of trying to check in with each other. Matter of fact, just connecting with each other. That's step one. And I'm not talking about, these fake encounters that are sent our way to try to infiltrate us and trying to make it seem like they're one of us, but they're not. They're just more of their bots and more of their agents being sent in to again keep us confused, keep us from not knowing who to trust. But I'm at the point now I am ready to take whatever necessary steps necessary to reach out to folks who really are in the same predicament as myself. And I, through my research, I've learned that there are a lot of individuals, especially in the state of Arizona, who, if not are in my predicament, have been in my predicament, because Arizona is a whole nother demon. Like, y'all, the stuff I done found out about this place, it turns my stomach. Like, if I'm being completely honest, and I really wish I would have done a little more due diligence before moving my family out here. And it's not even the state. It's not even like the environment in terms of the desert or whatever. It's the people and the stuff that they're willing to do and have done, and it's just a lot of corruption here, and that's the nicest way I can put it. But I do feel as though that's another reason why I'm being watched to the degree that I'm being watched, because I must command some type of presence, even though on my end it doesn't look like I'm reaching a lot of people. But clearly, the people that I am reaching, I must be making some form of an impact. Otherwise, why would they, feel the need to be as excessive about it, and obvious about it the way that they are with me, at least. And I found that, even with me posting about the medical disparity series, um, somehow those individuals had were able to infiltrate my, I guess, my device at the time, and was able to see all of my video before I even posted it on my Patreon. Because literally the next week they're in the grocery stores regurgitating, having their bots regurgitating things from my videos that I'm like, okay, far as I can see, no one's bought my series. So I don't know how these people are knowing stuff about what I posted if no one's bought it. So I'm like, okay, cool. So that's another reason I'm like, um, the reason for putting it behind a paywall was to help safeguard it from them. But seeing as they are just that invested in, finding out what I'm posting, what I'm talking about, even when it ain't even about them. Like, that's the crazy thing. Like, that's just how invested um, these people are. Like, they just kind of, I don't know, like, I don't know what it is they're hoping to achieve here, but clearly it's not working, because I'm still here talking. I might take my breaks as necessary, but I'm still going to be here talking, and I'm still going to be, trying to help people that I can help, uplifting people where I can, even when, like I said, I don't, necessarily feel my greatest today either, but something told me to just, get on here anyway. And I really did want to make a live about it, because the post that I put was more so about, let me see, the post that I put was more so about the medical disparities being posted on my Patreon, and I wanted to emphasize that it is posted there and that they are free to view. If you want to be able to make more sense of, my personal story and loopholes and all that stuff, watch those videos, and that'll help guide you, because there's some anomalies I've noticed when it comes to me in the medical field. I've literally noticed a pattern of medical facilities literally closing down after servicing me. And this has happened not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times now. One of those times was right after I received radiation. Literally the next week, the radiologist closed down his practice and moved back to Kansas. Now, back then, I thought it was odd, because he never mentioned to me that he was closing down and packing up shop and going away. And the receptionist that he had working with him was even surprised, because I got a chance to talk to her before the week, or that last week before they closed down. And when I called back the next week, I think I needed to get access to some records or something. He was gone. His whole practice gone. Gone. I still to this day couldn't explain to you like how or why that happens. I get it, stuff happens, but nah. It's always after dealing with me. And that's another reason why it's led me to an even bigger um I guess conspiracy, I guess at this point is what I have to call it, that I've been a medical experiment for the government, I believe. I believe that these people have been monitoring me since my birth. And there's going to be a new series that I'm coming out with that's going to go do a deep dive into why I believe that and some things and occurrences that's happened to me since I was born that no one's ever been able to explain to me. A lot of odd things that I'm starting to recall that I guess I couldn't remember, but now I'm starting to remember, and stuff just doesn't add up. The people placed in my life, I feel like have been placed in my life to lie to me my whole life. People that I was supposed to trust, people that I call mom, dad, sister, brother, cousin, yada yada yada. So, there's a lot going on here that I feel that for some of us, the targeting that we're experiencing isn't just about no Patriot Act. It isn't just about no COINTELPRO. It is more than that. Some of us are being monitored because of the bloodlines that we're attached to. Some of us are royalty and don't even know it. Some of us have legitimate claims to this country and the land that we stand on that we don't even know. And that's from my own research. And that's also from the help of channels like Mr. Dane Calloway, for those of us who believe in the narrative that, so-called Black people are the true indigenous inhabitants of this country. Yeah, I believe that. Not just because he said it, but because of the things that I've been taught and brought up on through my own life. So I know that's just like a little little sprinkle for y'all to let y'all know, like, your girl knows a lot. I don't say everything that I know. I know it might seem like I am and that I do, but I'm really not. Like, I know how to hold my cards close to my chest. The ones that matter, at least. The stuff that don't matter, oh yeah. That's why talking about the medical stuff, yeah, it doesn't matter anymore. Like, it's over, it's done. Or at least I thought it was, or I think it is. Shoot, it still could be going on now, who knows? Because I have noticed an uptick of subliminals trying to, like, oh, you need to go to the doctor, you need to, and I'm like, that's crazy to me, because the whole time I was trying to seek help and medical professionals, nobody wanted to help me. Everybody, kind of giving me the runaround and treating me like I'm some nutcase. And now that I say, no, I don't need y'all, now everybody want to help me with something. Interesting. And, if I was naive, I'd just take my little butt right on back. Oh, yeah. But no, I know better now. So, no, as I live and breathe, damn another doctor will ever put their hands on me. I guarantee you that. Nurse, practitioner, I don't give a flip. Nobody. And I stand on that. And if you're someone in my predicament, my situation, you would do the same. Seek out other methods to help yourself. Leave that type of stuff for true medical emergencies if necessary. Don't just be running to them for every little thing, because these doctors, some of these doctors, some of these nurses have ulterior motives. They are working for the very people that you're trying to get away from. And I really do go in detail on that in my medical disparities videos on my Patreon. So you want to know more about what I'm talking about? Go watch those 2 videos. They are completely free. Follow my link in my bio. It will take you to my Patreon page. And then from there, you'll be able to see the series titled Medical Disparities. And I have not 1, but 2 videos posted there. And that is just the beginning. I chose to start from the current medical mishaps and then work my way back, because I felt like that would make more sense as it relates to my situation right now. To my moderator, thank you for looking out in the chat, because, oh yeah, I meant to preface this whole live by stating that I'm not here for the shenanigans tonight. So if you're a disruptor, if you're someone that's a bot that's been sitting here to watch, but keep your little comments to yourself, because they will not be answered. I will ignore you on this live just like I ignore you in real life. So miss me with the BS. All right. And to my moderator, shout out to you. Anyway, I also wanted to mention that on my Patreon, I've started a section called TI Tips. TI Tips is something that I thought of when doing my own research about ways to help myself, and ultimately finding out new information that I can also help you all. So the TI Tips, the first post that I have, which they're just posts, they're not videos, but the TI Tips, the first post that I have is pertaining to Proton Mail. I don't know if any of you all have ever heard of it, but it's basically an email service. It's completely free to sign up. The beautiful thing about Proton Mail is that it is end-to-end encrypted, and that it also is run through Swiss servers. If you don't know about Switzerland, they are one of the only countries that has a privacy policy in place, basically where they cannot divulge consumer data or information. So meaning that if they were ever subpoenaed by American courts, Nigerian courts, whatever other countries in the world, they cannot and will not disclose that information. This is vital and important because as a TI, it gives you more privacy over your emails. As some of you probably already know, that these individuals can hack your emails. I personally have experienced this. I've experienced them intercepting my emails as well as phone calls. They think that they're slick. They're not. I know it every time they do it. That's just how sloppy they are. Because they really think, oh, she doesn't know, when I know the whole time. Like, I'm literally recording the ish the whole time. I'm literally taking notes the whole time. So yeah, they're not pulling anything over me. Like, that's just how sharp my intuition is. Anyway, like I said, if you're someone like me, you've experienced that type of stuff, I will encourage you to go make a Proton, make several. Don't just lock yourself in with just one, because that's pretty much what I've gotten to the practice of. I make a new email for every little thing at this point. Like, I don't put all my eggs in one basket anymore. What's that saying, that when you know better, you do better? So that's exactly what I've been doing. I know better, so I'm doing better. Again, it's not 100% foolproof. It's not 100%, unhackable, because I've had some other things recently that's come up and I'm like, okay, somehow, some way, I still feel like they're kind of intercepting emails a little bit, but if they are in violation of a major law. So all I would have to do then is prove it, in a court. And yeah, that'd be my check right there, because they're in violation of laws that our country has with that country, as well as any other country that participates in that law. Let's see, but yeah, the Proton email, they also provide a VPN service. They also have a authenticator, as well as, you can buy their subscriptions. I forget the tiers, but basically the TI Tips description is just letting you know that that is something that you can utilize, and it's completely free to make an email. They don't ask for your personal information. You do not have to provide your real name or your name. You don't have to provide your address, like how Google and Microsoft and all these other ones be asking for all this extra information just to make you an email. You do not have to provide that on Proton. You don't have to give any of that. And that's what helps keep the anonymity, is that, you're not giving them any personal information. So if they were even asked, like, hey, can you locate her or their specific they don't have anything to go off of. There'd be no way to keep track of that. So That's tip number one that I have up there. Tip number two was something that I had recently come across, which was a channel here on YouTube. Um, Hold on, let me see. The channel is called, or you can look it up via the tag name at H.E.L.P Solution Systems, and that's H period E period L period P Solution Systems. Excuse me, Incorporated, which is the full name of the company. And basically, from what I understand, they are a hub of researchers, legal researchers who help customers, with different services. But thing that I noticed specifically about their company is that they actually have a section dedicated to targeted individuals where they provide templates as well as kits that they can purchase to take legal action against their stalkers and harassers. And that does include FBI agents as well as local law enforcement, as well as civilians. So the kit pricing, I feel, is pretty fair. They have different pricing based on individuals who want to file all the paperwork themselves versus the services where they would do it for you, which is, of course, a little more heftier of a fee. But they can literally walk you through that. And from my understanding, the individual, well, I believe his name, Mr. Malachi. Hold on, I believe it's Malachi. I thought I wrote it down. Okay, I guess I didn't write it down. As y'all can see, I'm terrible with these names. But with Mr. Malachi, and from what I learned from his particular story, is that he was a former felon and he had experienced gang stalking via, agents following him, harassing him, and he decided to educate himself on the legal system while he was incarcerated, and essentially founded this company, which, from what I understand, is a global network of a legal team that helps individuals, not just targeted individuals, but any individual with other respective areas get justice, essentially. I thought it was a really neat thing to point out to you all. Now, I want to also preface this by saying that I have not, with the exception of the Proton mail that I do use myself, I can vet that. I want to preface this by saying that none of this is legal advice or, something that you should take to heart, or that I'm telling you to do these things. I am just stating to you resources that I found. It is 100% your job to do your due diligence to vet anything that you spend money on. That for sure, especially being a targeted individual, vet anything that you throw money at. And then also to look into it. I did try to do a little more background research on this company in particular, but I really didn't find much. And I know it's a fairly newer company, so maybe that's why I'm not finding a lot. But I do know that it said it's a global network, so it's not just here in the States. So far, it seems legitimate, but like I said, if you do choose to contact that company and go that route, just do your due diligence. If something doesn't feel right, you don't have to feel the need to go through it. I personally am just, like I said, I'm just trying to do anything that I can to help not just myself, but others, to get some form of justice, if that's even possible anymore. Because quite frankly, the state of the world and the nation and just this country, I don't have much confidence. But again, you can't blame nobody for trying. At least we can say we tried. But that second descriptive card on my Patreon will give you a little more background information. And of course, I have all of their links to their socials posted. So they have a YouTube here. Again, that was at H.E.L.P Solution Systems, if you look them up by their app. And then I believe they have an Instagram, a Facebook, and a TikTok, I believe. I don't have those links necessarily available at this moment, but like I said, if you follow my Patreon and you go to TI Tips, you will see that post because I just recently posted that this week. Um, Let me see. So yeah, so that's all I have for the TI Tips so far. And like I said, I am working to do my best to vet this stuff. And also just to make sure that the individuals are who they say they are, because again, what I've been learning with this whole organization and stuff is that a lot of this stuff is tied to like Freemasons, Eastern Stars, like all of those little, you know, cults and secret societies that people be talking about. Like they out here, like, and I think that's what gives them their sense of like, oh, no one can touch me, like their untouchable attitude, because they know they got numbers. But if you're someone like myself, you've researched them too, because again, the only way to know how to defeat your enemy is to know your enemy. And I believe that's in the book The Art of War. Not that I've ever read it, but I've been told that. So I have been researching on them too, and some of their practices and things, and just again the low key, unsubtle hints that I've been getting from my gang stalkers. And my whole thing is, I'm like, that might scare regular folks that they got a cult or cults after them, but it doesn't scare me, not at all, because I know, just like with anything, there's checks and balances to their system and the way that they do things too. They have their own little laws and codes and all this stuff. So in the grand scheme of things, I'm not fazed by that. Clearly, if I was, I wouldn't be on here talking. Just saying. But when you know that you have some type of protection over you, like I've been calling it divine protection, and I'm not saying that that's not what it is, but it definitely is starting to feel like something much bigger than that, in my opinion. I can't tell you specifically what that is. I just been saying divine protection as a blanket statement. But now I know for sure, like, yeah, if these level of people are coming after me, there's something that I'm missing, or that I've been missing. Like, clearly I either, got some family members that are in this stuff, or have been in this stuff, or have sicked these people on me, or what. Like, clearly there's something more. And of course, all of the, I guess, the people I've pissed off along the way, who might also be a part of this little organization or whatever. And they send their little low ranking members to do their dirty work. I don't know. Again, I wouldn't begin to tell you how the organization run, because I ain't in it. So with that being said, I mention that because the thing that I've learned about the way that they operate is that they do indeed have people in positions of power in pretty much any and every sector that you can think of. They put politicians in place, presidents, they put local political leaders, they put, doc- doctors, surgeons, they put like all of this stuff that you think is like, oh, pish posh and hoo ha. Like, no, this stuff is real. This stuff is real. A lot of these lower ranking individuals who are in those organizations don't even hardly have the real deal spill of what be going on, outside of those who subject themselves to the puppetry that gang stalking is. But whether that's inadvertently or not, because some of them aren't even aware. Some of them are put into trances and, you know, allegedly put into trances and having energy weapons used on them too, to make them forget what they be doing. They don't even be knowing why they be doing what they doing. So yeah, and there's just YouTube is too free of a resource to not go on here and just Google, or not Google, but you go on YouTube, search gang stalking TI. You'll see so many individuals, especially in regards to Freemasonry, people who've allegedly survived it, whether they were born into it or joined or whatever, and then renounced it, who confirm a lot of the stuff that I'm saying, that when they chose to get out, or when they, were growing up in it and they rejected it, then next thing they know, all these people are coming after them. And I know that the Freemasonry specifically is it's supposed to be one of the oldest fraternities or whatever in the world, because this stuff doesn't just, relate to America. This stuff is global. And I'm no fool. I realize that, because I have been recently entertaining the idea of wanting to leave and move somewhere internationally, which I still might. I mean, I'm not going to let this stuff stop my movement. But I have been getting subliminals through the same videos I was watching, because that's I guess the flavor of the month. They like to try to send me subliminals through the YouTube comments, giving little hints about stuff like, oh, yeah, because it's not like, you can't be stalked in in whatever respective country you're trying to go to. And I'm like, no, I'm very much so aware, but the difference is that it's not here, and because here, y'all, we live in a society that that emboldens that type of behavior. It celebrates it. Those other countries, they might have their little secret little cults and covens and all that, but ultimately, I don't believe that I don't believe that it would be as deep as it is here. And or the laws might be different. People there might actually be able to defend themselves, if you know what I mean. So, and not gridlock people like how they do here. You tell people, if something's going on with you, go report it, go say something, but then they'll turn around and flip it on you and try to make you seem like the crazy person, because you're always going up there reporting and telling on these folks. And then they'll just gang stalk you more, which is crazy. Isn't that crazy? Like that's why I said everything about all of this is a joke. It's a big ass joke, and they think that we're not in on it. But those of us that are wise enough to see, that are smart enough to peep all of this BS, we see it clearly. Like it's really not hard to figure out. I've been saying that since the get go. And I think that's why mine are probably tiff with me, because they really are trying their little hardest with me, and I'm not budging. Like don't get me wrong, I have my days like today where I'm just like, I'm just indifferent to a little bit of everything, but I'm not, I might be down, but I'm not out. Like, and it has nothing to do with them. It has everything to do with me just, thinking about my own life and trajectory and what I want for myself and my family going forward, with them in the rearview mirror. Because that's what I'm saying. I'm not planning my life around what I'm going through now. This is a temporary situation. Temporary. It is not permanent. I do not accept that. And if people choose to want to follow me around the rest of their life, that'll be them wasting their miserable life. Not me wasting mine, because I'm living mine exactly how I want to. So if I want to be like this right now, that's how I'm gonna be. It's my choice, and it's my free will to do so, not by nobody else's hand or command but mine. So yeah, I think that pretty much wraps up everything I want to discuss, at least for this video. I will again say, please go and look up, those videos. Go to my Patreon. If you do decide to join and become a member there, it's only $5 for the lower tier, and then $15 for like the upper tier. And I just did it like that again, if for those who, just genuinely just want to see and keep up with me, because I do hope to start posting there a little more frequently, especially more candid videos that I can't really do here without being harassed. As some of y'all probably saw the bot who came in earlier talking about, oh, how you doing a lot with zero viewers. I know from the history of doing lives on this channel that just because they've messed with my counter to make it look like there's 0 views doesn't mean that there's 0 viewers. Because most of the time when I click off this thing, then all of the views pop up. So it's like, we're not even wasting energy on you, buddy. I don't even know why I just gave him energy just then. Like, ain't even no point. because it don't matter. But I hope that the little bit of information I was able to give you all tonight helps. And just know that I'm still here. I'm still in the fight. I know I did see a commenter um, asked me if I was still, experiencing gang stalking or community harassment. And it's like, I didn't bother to answer them directly because I believe the video that they had watched, I had already put in the description, an update that I was indeed still experiencing it. So it's that whole situation was like, I'm not gonna keep, rehashing the same thing over and over and over again. But let this kind of serve also as a message to anyone else who might have had that question. Like, yes, it's still going on. As far as I know, nothing much has changed there for me. But I'm just handling it better. So I guess that's the update on that. But I'm gonna go ahead and pop off. I just really want everybody to stay well, keep your mental as good as you can. Keep doing those things for yourself that you need to function. If you're doing your best, that's all anybody can ask from you at this point. Like, I feel like a lot of people are, you know, dealing with their own stuff, and it's just a lot. Um, to have to be worried about and concerned about on top of everything else in life. I know my life isn't uber difficult, but in comparison to some others, but it's my life, so it's like I don't have anyone else's to compare it to, nor would I try to. I can only speak from my own personal experience, but whatever you all are enduring, going through, I hope that it gets better. If you need to get help, seek help. Don't suffer alone. Don't suffer in silence like I choose to do. I don't know. I'm weird like that. But just keep your heads up, keep your heads on a swivel. Don't give these people an inch. Don't let them think that they got anything over you because they don't. Um, and yeah, I'm just gonna end it there. But until next time, see ya.